Hey everybody, Dan Olson from Hog Wild Barbecue YouTube channel. Today we're going to smoke some St. Louis style spare ribs. So what I've done so far, I've simply taken them out of the package and I rinsed them off with water. I have a little bit of salt here in this ramekin. I have some spice rub here in this ramekin that we're going to apply to it. It's going to really help bring out the flavors. The reason why I put them into a ramekin and I just don't have a salt and pepper shaker here or my spice bottle is because we're going to be touching raw meat. And once you touch raw meat and you go and you touch something else, you've contaminated that something else, right? So we need to be safe when we're handling meat products. And so that's why I'm putting it into a ramekin. I'll sprinkle it over, and then when I'm done, I will put the ramekins into the dishwasher so that there's no problem. Okay, so here they are. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna turn them over, and we're gonna take off this little membrane that's right here. Brought a knife to help try and lift it up. Getting this membrane off is going to help get the spices in and to get the salt in to the ribs. Otherwise, you know, it wouldn't be getting in as far and it just wouldn't be making the same sort of flavor. So I'm trying to be a little bit careful with this, but if I have to come back and grab a little bit of the membrane, that'll be okay too. Just want to make sure that getting it down to the meat. Get started, hopefully you can just kind of rip it off. Okay, most of it. Come back here and try and grab the rest. I'm just trying to get a good contact surface for the spices that we're putting on. Use a knife if you have to. Try and get underneath it. Just get as much of that off as you can. So it's not, I mean, it kind of looks like we're taking off the fat, but that's not the primary purpose. It's really just the membrane portion of it that we're trying to get off, so that we can help lock in those amazing flavors that we're looking for. Okay. So on the back of it, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt. You know, the salt's going to help keep them tender. It's going to help to keep them moist. Okay, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and we'll turn this over. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on spice rub. You know, find your favorite spice rubs. Try them out. Test a couple here and there. See what you like. See what you don't. This has paprika, garlic, kosher salt, pepper. I just want to get that in. Pop that in. Okay, I'm going to cover this with some plastic. I'm going to put it into the refrigerator for a little while, let it work its way into the meat, and then we'll come back in about an hour or two and we'll take it out to the smoker. Okay, see you in a little bit. Okay, got the grills going. Today we're using a little bit of hickory wood to help in smoking with these ribs. Got the temperature pretty darn close to 250. I'm looking to hold it about 225, 250, so I'm there. I got the smoke. It's coming out of the chimney. Got a little bit coming out of the chamber as well. But it's, you know, it's not big, thick, heavy, white, billowy smoke. It's kind of turning into that thin pale smoke. I've got the opening over here fully open for now. If it gets too hot, then perhaps I will tamp that down, and you know, maybe I'll close down the exhaust pipe a little bit if I have to. Okay, you can see the grill, the temperature's still climbing just a little bit. I'm almost right at 250, so why don't we go ahead, open up the lid, take our beautiful St. Louis spare ribs and put them in there. You'll notice I have one of the grill plates from the firebox. I have put that in here, and I've covered it in aluminum foil. Some people buy tuning plates. I use what I've already got plus a little bit of aluminum foil. What's that going to do is going to take the heat from the firebox so that it's not coming out right there, which would cook this portion of the ribs fast and this portion of the ribs slower. And I brought so that the heat's coming into the chamber right about here. So it's coming in at about the midway point of the ribs. Should keep a nice even heat on both sides of the cook. And that way I don't have to worry about opening up the lid, rotating the meat, because, you know, as they say, don't open the lid. If you're looking, you're not cooking. So we'll go ahead and close this up, come back in a few hours, see how it's going. Okay, awesome. So the ribs have been going now for just about 3 hours. I just turned over the piece of hickory wood to get the flames going back up. Temperature has been holding steady right at around 250. Now let's take a look at these. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Nice, juicy. You can see how well it bends. What we're going to do is, oh, look at that. That's almost perfection. I have put down some butter and some brown sugar on the aluminum foil. You can see where the meat is starting to pull back a little bit from the bones. That tells us that we are well on our way. It's a very nice barbecue. So I'm going to wrap this up. 2 sheets of aluminum foil. You notice they're now meat down at the moment, and that's how I'm going to put them back onto the grill for the last, maybe about the last hour. I'm going to go ahead. I've got them wrapped. I've got the smoke that I want on them. Now I'm just trying to finish off the cooking process. So we're going to go ahead, put them back onto here. Our makeshift baffle that we're using with the you know, the extra grate that we had from the firebox, still holding up strong. Probably lost all my temperature, but that's going to come right back up. So in about an hour, maybe even a little bit less, we'll come back and we'll take a look at them, and I think that they're going to be perfect. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I let the ribs cook for about another 45 minutes. During that time, the dog and I played fetch in the backyard. He would pick up the bone, throw it, I would go retrieve it for him. But here they are. I've let them rest for about 20 minutes. Oh, doesn't that look awesome? You can see, you know, the meat is starting to pull away from the bones. They're very flexible. That's letting you know these ribs are done right. Now, I was watching a video a little while ago, and the pitmaster was a professional pit guy, right? And he had wrapped his ribs and he had the drippings for it, and then he took the drippings and he threw them in the trash. I'm thinking, you gotta be out of your mind. That is straight up flavor that you're getting rid of there. So let me show you what I did. I had the drippings. I came over here. I made a gravy with it, and this is nothing but the drippings, and then I added in some heavy cream. So it had the flavor of the brown sugar, and then it also has that nice, rich, and deep smoke flavor. This is going to be the gravy that I'm going to use tomorrow on my country style eggs Benedict. Okay, so the last thing that we got to do is cut off a little bit here. See what I'll, oh, see, could have cut that with a butter knife. Look at that. Look at that color. Look at how juicy and tender that is. Oh, good heavens. That is really, really nice. So, that's how we make St. Louis style barbecue ribs. It has wonderful flavor, that last little bit of the butter and the brown sugar. put a nice little sweetness onto it. Now I have seen certain barbecuers do their videos and they put a light rubbing of mustard on it before, and they use it just simply as a binding. It says, you know, we do this so that the spice will stick. If you come in here real close, you can still see where the spices are on the ribs. My experience has been that the mustard isn't necessary, but I do know that some people do it. So, still chewing up that rib, it's awesome. You do what you want. I don't think that it's necessary. That's been my experience. I've got some wonderful ribs. I have dinner table set over there, ready for the missus and I to have dinner. So for now, I'm going to wish you a good day and good barbecue. Dan Olson, Hog Wild Barbecue.